Season 4, man. We back for season 4.
Back
I am
at
Black.
'em.
I am Black, aka BAA, aka Black Ass African. We got a good one for y'all, man. Season 4, episode volume 22. We got a good one for y'all today, man. So y'all buckle up. Y'all jump in this time machine and let's ride. Like I said, I'm gonna pass it to my boy. Damn, I messed it up. It's been a long time, man.
What's going on, everybody? Boy, Hot Man, back at him, man. Like my brother said, season 4. We back at it, man. We fixing to hit him off with a banger today. We got a living legend in the house today. A living legend in the house today. Check out my partner. I'm gonna pass it down to the bottom. If you want to introduce yourself.
Shirt King Phade, from the Mighty Shirt Kings.
The mighty Shirt Kings.
Yeah, the mighty Shirt Kings. You know, the crew out of Jamaica, Queens, Southside Jamaica, Queens. That's my team. You know, just being an influencer. You know, to the culture, and an educator.
Right.
You know.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up. That's what's up. So, I mean, normally we do like a little hip hop history. Quick question for you, real quick.
Yeah.
More of old school or new school hip hop?
I like it all.
Mm-hmm.
And why I say that is because, you know, as a visionary, you always look to want to see what the future is about. And seeing it at the beginning and to where it's at now, I kind of envisioned it's supposed to be this way. You know, as a kid, I said, you know what, I got to eat off of this.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the new hip hop has turned it into something so viable that, you know, we're eating, you know, any gift that God gives us is supposed to make room for you, you know, to eat, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just inspired, you know. I wasn't expecting the older cats to take us this far, you know.
Right.
It's very few. It's always youth driven, you know. And once you give up that youthfulness, hello.
Yeah, we got you.
Oh.
Yeah,
Once
we
you
good.
give up that youthfulness, it's like, you know, what is life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What is life, you know? So I like what's going on now. I don't even think it's like a new or old. It's still just beginning. You know, it's just a platform that we're still learning and still evolving, still creating. Like, did you know you guys would be doing podcasts like just 4 years ago? You know, 5 years ago.
Right.
So it's a constant, man. It keep. That's what I love about hip hop, because it's a constant uh, evolution. It keeps
Mm-hmm.
evolving,
Right.
and morphing, and that goes to like what Rakim said. You know, take pieces and bits of old hip hop hits. You know, so hip hop is just a mixture of everything.
Right.
You know, so we don't know what sounds we're gonna get. You know, now we got drill. You know, we got trap. You know, we don't know what's gonna be filtered through. You know, but the essence of it is still the same. You know, it's good music and it's creativity, and you know, I can rap a little, but I mean, my goodness, like the creativity, you know, twisting these words and all that. Like
Right.
when you hear these kids, I'm like, golly, and even like the Jay-Z's and all of that, like that shows the genius of the culture. You know.
Right.
Right. So is there anybody new that you listening to now?
I mean, like, you know, I like songs from like Juice World, and um there's so many. There's so many.
Mm-hmm.
But I like um Little Baby. not the baby. I
Not
like
the
little
baby.
baby.
Yeah.
I like him. And you know what? When I first saw him, they hired me to do an album cover with him and Gunna. They didn't use it, but it was something about him. I said, "It's something about that kid right there. Like he got that look. Like, So when he came out with this song that he just came out with last month,
Hmm.
it confirmed what I felt about him. You know, that I believe he's more than a rapper. He's somebody that is using rap for what it's supposed to be. You know, he uses lyrics, as a voice, as a voice of change. And to be so young and to just come out with a song that way, that means this thing has been on his heart since he was a kid, but he was just waiting for the right circumstances to bring that out. You know, so something about little baby. I like little TJ too. You
Hmm.
know,
Mhm.
um, definitely the whole ASAP mob. That's the family. So
Yeah.
ASAP Ferg, Rocky, Nas, all of them. You know,
Well,
I
I got a quick one for you then. You said Rocky. That's like a long distance cousin of mine.
wow,
Yeah, I didn't. My cousin, she used to stay in
wow.
Pennsylvania,
Okay,
and his dad married her. You know what I'm saying? And they moved down
wow.
here, right? So
Oh,
yeah,
so that's okay. That's family.
yeah, that's family, man. I never met him, but
Wow.
still, cuz say, hey, rep him. So hey, that's cuz, you know what I'm saying?
I'll let him know. He's supposed to be coming around soon.
Okay then.
He don't live too far from me, so. But yeah, and I spoke to Ferg yesterday, so I'm always in the circle with them.
Right,
Hmm.
Very creative guys, very creative.
right. So,
Got you. Got you. Real quick,
question.
real
Oh,
quick,
go
real
ahead.
quick, real quick. Let's shout out the chat real quick. We got Kev Buckeye City in here, Red, Trey J, Rice Goat, GQ, Feel Fresh,
Wow,
Shoes Up, Sleeves Down. I
wow.
appreciate y'all coming through, man. For those of y'all just coming in with us, man, we got a living legend on the show with us today, King Phade from the Shirt Kings from back in
The
the
mighty
day.
Shirt
The
King.
mighty Shirt King.
My bad. I
You
apologize.
gotta
I
put the mighty
apologize.
on that thing, man.
The mighty Shirt Kings. So I mean, if you saw anything pretty much back in the day with airbrushing on the shirts in hip hop, it came from him, and that's a fact. That's a fact.
That,
So
that graffiti
Shirt
art.
King.
yeah,
You
yeah,
see
that's a
that
fact.
graffiti art like that on shirts, on subways, on buses, on walls. It all started right here, in my opinion. It all
Exactly.
started right here. So
Exactly.
we got
Throwback King,
Throwback
what
King.
up?
So let's go on into the beginning. So in the beginning, what got you into? I guess you say in the art. What got you into the art? What started it for you?
Well, as a kid, I was always drawing.
Hmm.
Once again, my older brother with the comic books. We lived in Brooklyn, so he used to collect comic books. I used to look at them and then start drawing from the comic books. Then my mother getting me my own set of like Disney. I just started drawing a Disney. That was probably like 4 or 5 years old. I remember doing that. And this is preschool. Before kindergarten and stuff like that. I remember vividly like drawing. And enjoying and loving like the Disney characters and stuff. So that's always been there.
Hmm.
That's always been there.
Cool. So what age would you say that you drew your first picture and you was like, man, that looks pretty good?
Probably like 8 years old,
Hmm.
8, and I was like, you know, this looks all right.
Yeah.
You got to thank Stan Lee, because creating those comic books, I'm pretty sure a lot of kids were influenced, you know. But for me, when we moved to the Bronx, it's like I'm looking at the comic books, and then you start to see trains, and then you see the characters from the Sunday time, from the Sunday, news, and you see that on a train, and you're like, oh snap, like, wow, somebody drew my favorite character on the train, you know. But but my older brother got involved. That like heightened my senses, you know. It was like,
Mhm.
wow, like okay, now he's doing it, you know. And then I began to figure out how to do it by tagging along with my older brother.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
You got another question, Edwin?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. So, well, you say your older brother influenced you. So about what age did you start? You know, so he tagging subways or was he just doing
Oh nah,
walls?
he was bombing. He was bombing the subways
Uh-huh.
with a team. It was like, man, I think it was probably like 20 of them. And it's like every Saturday they would just gather early in the morning and they would go, you know, and they'd
Hmm.
go to the train yard or they'll just get on the train and do motion tags. That's like as the train is moving, you're inside the train
Mhm.
tagging up, you know, and then I guess even after school they was bombing. You know, I remember two girls being with them. So it was like a whole team, guys, girls. You know, I remember the Levi jackets, Levi suits. You know, I remember everybody with the black books and writing in the black books. You know, it was an event. It was an event, and I couldn't wait to get older to get down. You know,
Mhm.
Hmm. So about what age you started, riding along with Big Bro to see what I was
that's
going on out there.
like 10, and I think around 12, about 11, 12. That's when I started getting into it.
Hmm.
You know, and then like me and my crew, you know, which was just my homies from around the way. You
Mhm.
know, we just started doing what we saw our older brothers and sisters do, and we just went out and started bombing too. You know, we weren't good yet, but you know, it was just an adrenaline rush. You know, so you could say like 12 or 13. You know, in that age.
Okay. What from memory, what was the first piece that you did? Like, do you remember that first piece, or did you help out on a piece, or you just came up with something on your own?
My first piece, I remember doing something. Well, my first like official, I know I was in my first year of high school, and I know I did something prior to that, but like something officially, you know, I was 13 years old, and my boy Adam gave me an outline, and I put it up on the train. You know, I just scaled it up. You know, it was on a little small little piece of paper, and I scaled it up onto the train,
Hmm.
and you know he was better than me, but he hadn't done that yet himself.
Mhm.
So to for him to be with me and give me the outline and watch me do it, that kind of like blew his mind. Like, oh snap! Like, yo, you able to copy what I did and put it up there, and this the thing with graffiti is like there's artists now that are called contemporary artists that try to live off the rep of, oh, they were from New York back in the days and this and that.
Mhm.
But a lot of them cats never went to the train tunnel, you know, but they're benefiting off the name of saying I'm a graffiti artist, you know.
Hmm.
Right.
And for us it was so many levels, you know. It was like sneaking out of your house, you know, at late at night, not getting caught by your moms, you know, um, avoiding getting ink and paint on your clothes because your moms bought your clothes, you know, and you came home, you wasn't washing your own clothes.
No,
So she
sir.
like, what the hell is this ink spot on this? What's that? Oh, my pen blew up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like we
damn.
had to avoid, yeah, exactly. You know, then the belt came out.
Yes, sir.
You know, so you know, it was so many levels. Then avoiding other crews,
Right.
which was when we came up, it was a transition from gangs to crews, you know. So you still dealing with a gang mentality, gang elements, you
Mhm.
know. Now you're in but you're in a dangerous place. You got the third rail. A lot of dudes died on the third rail trying to tag up. You know, a lot of dudes, you know, got maimed and lost a leg or arm, you know,
Mm.
from graffiti. You know, so for me, I take it to heart when somebody like just comes out and is like, "Yeah, I'm from New York," and you know, and then you see a picture of them doing something in a subway, and then it's all over the New York Post and all of that. You know, that stuff is fugazi to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the thing is, you know, God always has a plan, and
Right.
he does a big payback, really really good. You know, because
Ooh. Okay then.
the like the
So
false ones, he puts them down eventually. He ain't got to put them down, but they it's just a time right now. I feel it's a time for the real ones to come up. You know,
Right.
mhm.
Right.
yeah.
So my question, so you saying your first piece was about around 13ish, I guess, right?
Hmm.
So what was the first one that you did on your own that you actually made money off of?
Well, that came when I learned how to airbrush.
Okay.
That came later. Growing up in New York, you figure out so many ways to make money. So
Right.
I was, you know, plus watching my older brother, so I learned how to make money, you know, early, you know, um, and I learned how to separate street life from the art life, you know. So while we were still going to the train yard, you know, I was still, because of my older brother, able to get into certain clubs to see the Africa Bambatas and the Red Alerts and the DJ Jazzy J and all these guys who are, you know, who were like pre Def Jam. You know, Jazzy J was pre Def Jam.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you kind of kept that separate because when you came up at that time, you had to figure out what you were going to be and what you were going to do. I
Right.
decided to stay a graffiti artist. You know, other people said, "Well, I'm gonna turn into a DJ," and then next you know, that dude evolved into a DJ. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I feel art is it opens you up to all different opportunities and avenues. You know, because when I interview like Melly Mel and dudes like that, they all say, "Yeah, I used to tag on the train too." I wasn't as good, but that was my first. Like everybody touched that first element, which was the graffiti, and then
Right.
they morphed into a MC or a DJ or a producer, or you know, they went into other avenues, other areas.
Right. Okay. So did you ever b-boy back in the day?
Oh, definitely,
Okay. Yeah.
definitely.
You know,
Oh,
I just felt like, that right there goes hand in hand. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It seems like you got to do both. You can't do one without the other. So,
yeah. It's
I
a
mean,
rites of passage.
right, right. I'm not from, New York or anything, but I just know from, growing up in
Wow.
that era and the fact that I look at a lot of the older videos from back in the days and
Uh-huh.
interviews and stuff like that. It's like, you got to have both on, man. You just can't have one without the other. It's like peanut
Yeah.
butter and jelly, man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like I said, you try everything out. You know, you try each element out, and some stayed b boys, and they're still dancing to this day,
Right,
and got schools. You know, like my boy Wiggles, he got a school in Las Vegas. So, you know, you just pick who you gonna be. You know.
You know, it's amazing to me because I remember back in the day when you know, everything that we're talking about was underground. And you
Yeah.
had people saying don't sell out, no sell out. Now everything that everybody was saying don't sell out, we're not going to sell out. It's like everything, not saying it's selling out, but everything now is crossed over to where
Mm.
hip hop is all over the place now. The stuff that you're doing is all over the place when all this stuff was frowned upon back in the day. What you doing the graffiti in New York. I was going to ask you, how different is it now? Is graffiti a lot more welcome on the trains now than it was back in the day? Because I'm pretty sure that y'all had to run from police and all people trying to stop you from painting on the trains and all that
Definitely.
stuff. So like
Definitely.
when you said like people now doing stuff on the trains, is that more welcome now? Is graffiti more welcome? Because like in my city, we got this place called Graffiti Bridge where everybody goes there and they do murals. They just go there and they just spray paint, and it's like a railroad track bridge, and they just put whatever they want on there. So it's like they got a place for that in the
I
city.
like that.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's one thing that I've noticed, that the stuff that everybody was hollering don't sell out. You know what I mean? All that stuff has become commercialized now. How do you feel about that? I know it's a good thing.
Definitely a good thing. Like I said, I envisioned the culture. I look at hip hop as the Trojan horse. You know, and they came with the Trojan horse like it was a gift, and then when it got into the city, all the soldiers came out. And they took over. So you got to see what we did. It was like a gift, and then once it got out, it took over. It's the number one genre right now. It's making the most money. It's multi billions are made off of, and I quote, I forgot his name, but he said there was a couple of kids in the Bronx just kicking around a can and jumping off a mattress, and a couple of years later, it's a multi-billion-dollar business. So it was just some kids playing around with creativity, and it turned into something. So it can't be frowned upon because it's a gift, and people are eating off this gift. Gallery shows, canvases.
Yeah.
I mean, canvases are going for millions. It's like endless possibilities. It's like whatever is there for me, I want it. And I always knew there was going to be some type of vehicle. And in this particular car, I'm just not the passenger. I'm driving. And I'm gonna take this vehicle as far as I can take it.
Right.
We got a question in the chat real quick from Beard Jedi. He wanted to know, have you tried doing your art on iPads using different brushes at all? More specifically, have you tried to adapt to the technology changes in art nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, I work in Photoshop, but it seems like from me, people want the real deal. They just want the raw.
Yeah.
They feel it's more authentic, and then it's more spiritual because it's like you putting your essence onto the canvas, and if people are feeling your art, that mean they feeling you. That mean something's coming through you and going out, and healing is taking place. You can't initiate healing off of a brush on a computer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And people feel it. Some people look at certain pieces of art and break down and start crying. I've drawn pictures that people was like, yo, you don't see the angels in the back? And I'll be like, nah, I don't. But it means something to them and they see it. So you can't reproduce. You could reproduce that on the computer, but I think the feeling is just stronger when you just like I don't use projectors, and a lot of artists, a lot of my peers, they use projectors. I don't know why, because it's a God-given gift. Why would I need something mechanical to exercise this gift?
It's like when they say, it's like when your grandma cooked something and they'd be like, "Well, it's made with love." That's pretty much what you're saying. You made it with love. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
could feel that. I could feel that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You keeping it original, and you keeping it OG by doing it by hand, and you're putting your touches on there. So that makes a world of difference. I like something like that because you're not watering it down. You still using your hands
And
and not relying on technology.
I can relate to what he was saying too, because I went to school back in the the mid '90s for drafting and designing, and back then we was always freehand and stuff. So you fast forward, everything is done on computers. So you can't really get the real thing that you want out of somebody that's doing it freehand as opposed to doing it on a computer. So I feel what you're saying about that, because I did a layout, a blueprint of a house. They told me to do a blueprint of a house. I did the blueprint of the house, and then I tried to transfer it to the computer, and it just didn't feel right. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't put my all into once I got to the computer, because it seemed like the computer did everything for me instead of me doing it. That's how I looked at it. You know what I mean?
I
So,
think another good analogy is music.
mm-hmm.
Being that everything is compressed, and that bass is not the same. Like when that's why the West was winning for a long time, because and the South was doing it too. But when Dr. Dre and them was like, we was sampling, right? But Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Dre and them was going and hiring Bootsy. Like, we gonna go get Bootsy, we gonna go get
Mm-hmm.
George, and they got the
Mm-hmm.
real sounds, and that's
Yeah.
why they began to win. And then a lot of the early groups in Atlanta, and Memphis, they were using live instruments.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
Organized
it's
noise.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
it's
One
funny
of
you
them.
on,
said that because
Yeah.
they
on,
was talking about they had the live bass and the pianos on organized noise. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
it makes a difference coming through the speakers. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It
to
sounds
do it.
pure. It sounds pure,
Yeah, that
man.
ain't nothing like stereo. Digital is good too, you know, and the kids are being brought up on digital, but when
Right.
they get exposed to stereo, they're like, ooh, wow, what's that?
Yeah.
It's like totally new to them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So it's the same thing.
Okay.
So I was gonna say, we kind of get back to so your brother influenced you. You started doing stuff on your own back in the day. Um, I saw where it said you went to you ended up going to college. And is that where that's where you learned to take what you was putting on the trains or in the subway onto fabric, right?
Well, I went to a specialized high school, art and design, and art and design kind of taught us um the intricacies of design, and were prepping us for the for like working at magazines, and you know like they prepped us. So that was like more pre college. In college, on my break, that's when I learned how to airbrush,
Mm-hmm.
you know but I already had like the knowledge. I just didn't have the years, and I didn't have the degree. you know. But high school, being going to a specialized art high school, they everything I learned in college was the same stuff I learned in high school. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, like what am I here for?
Yeah. So how hard was it for you to, you said you would take something off a small piece of paper, make it big on the train, and then you took the same stuff that you was making big and made it back small again. Was that real hard to adapt to? Going from using spray paint cans to airbrushing.
I mean, I feel that's a gift. I had great mentors. I met one of my mentors. His name is King Case 2. He's
Mm-hmm.
from the. If you ever watch the documentary Star Wars, he's the guy with the one arm,
Mm-hmm.
and he was my direct mentor. I met him when I was 14 years old, and going to the train yard with him, and taking something he drew for me and scaled it up. He was like, "Yo, you gonna be good," like he saw it
You
before
saw
I
it
saw
already.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I just followed through, and you know, now and Case is like the top of the food chain. So you know, just hearing that from him made me not even want to listen to nobody else no more. You know, and in high school that turned me into the man, because it was like, this is the dude that we laughed at in ninth grade. You know, by the end of ninth grade, he's rolling with the top dogs. You know, and so now everybody's like, it's kind of like the Joseph effect. You know, like, you know, that now they got to come to you to eat. You
Right.
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. So
Wow.
you was putting stuff on clothes back then in high school too?
Yeah. 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 I had some other mentors, right? Like where I lived at, um, this one dude named Jerry, they call him DJ One Time. He used to live in Grandmaster Flash's building in the South Bronx. He moved up to where we were at in the North Bronx. But when he came fully hip hop loaded. You know, the stuff that we heard that was going on down there, he came with that and moved into the building. He came with the big speakers. You know, he
Hmm.
came with the graffiti art. He tried to hide that part because it was illegal, so he didn't
Hmm.
want nobody to know. So one day I was in his crib and I found his black book, and he was like, "Yo, put that down! Don't touch that." I was like, "What's this?" And he snatched it from me, you know. And so he went to the bathroom. I pulled it back out, and I was like, "Yo, I know you do graffiti." And he was like mad, you know, because he was one of the top dogs, and he was wanted like citywide. So he was like, "Please don't tell nobody." Da da da. He said, "I'll teach you," you know. So what he did was show me the basics of painting on your jeans, painting on your denim, painting the back of the denim jackets. You know him and this girl named Juliet. She was nice with it. And then his DJ partner Doc LaRock, and Doc LaRock is a dude who taught Funk Master Flex how to DJ. You
Hmm.
know,
Mm. Okay.
so I'm dealing with generational stuff here. You
Yeah.
know, I'm dealing with cats who taught cats who taught cats. You
Okay
know,
then.
so that's why I always honor the dudes that taught me, because I wouldn't be nowhere without God putting those mentors in my life. You know,
Right.
so yeah. One time, and Doc LaRock, they the ones that told me to go to art and design, and they both taught me how to paint on the clothes. So I already went into art and design, pretty much like tagging up my clothes and, you know, trying to get good with it. You know.
Hmm. Okay.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Go ahead.
So
Go ahead, Black.
I was going to go back to what we were saying before Hop had the question about the movie Beat Street. So, and my question also was going to be about Wild Style, because
Mm.
Wild Style had a character um, played by Fab Five Freddy that was called Fade. Any correlation to that?
Uh, let's go to Wild Style first.
Okay.
When it came out, when it was being made, you know, I was in high school, and all the cats in my school came and was like, "Yo, they making a movie, blah blah blah. They're using your name." And I was like, "How could they use my name? You know, like that don't even make no sense to me. You know,
Right.
I mean, like I already had business in me, so I sent back a message because all everybody in my school was in that movie. You know, I didn't. When I heard movie, I shied away from it because as a graffiti artist, you were taught to be an outlaw. You know, so why would I want to show my face on screen? You know,
Hmm.
and for a little bit of money. You know, like
Hmm.
half them dudes ain't get paid. You know, if they did get paid, they got paid like $2,000 or even less or something. You know, so I wasn't even gonna waste my time with that. You know, but when they told me they was using my name, I sent the message back to the to Charlie Ahern,
Hmm.
and I was like, yo, and because they was like, yo, they got all your artwork in there and everything, and I was like, yo, if you're not paying me, take my artwork out, and you can't use my name. But then they came back and was like, yo, they already filmed the whole movie. They could take the artwork out, but they can't change the name, you know. And I had to like, you know, me and Charlie is cool to this day, but I had to like go to him a couple of years ago, and he was trying to say he made up the name, and I was like, you know, come on, brah. And I told him that conversation, and you could see his face is lit up, like, oh, I remember that. And I was like, yeah, I was like 13 years old, bro. And I was like, yo, you stole candy from a baby. And he was like,
Real.
oh nah, yo, put his arm around me, gave me his number, was like, yo, let's do something, but nothing never happened, like, you know. But I'm the original Phade. I made up that name, you know, and it was used, and you know, and nobody ever like wants to address it because it just might be a case there, you know what I'm saying? It might be some back pay because you know you made zillions off our backs,
Yeah.
you know, and come on, bro. Like when I see my brothers who's been in these books and been in these movies and they in homeless shelters, something ain't right, you know.
Right.
And I always felt I wasn't gonna get exploited. If I was gonna get exploited, it was gonna be by myself. You know what I'm saying? So I never got into the wild style, you know, Star Wars. I ain't get into any of that. I was invited. I had parts to be in Star Wars, and I just was like, nah, you know, because you're not paying. I know there's money in this, and I
Yeah.
know in the future, I know about residuals. I know, you know, I just knew a lot at 13, 14. I don't know how, but I was like, I'm not getting involved if I'm not, you know, getting paid right or getting any money. I did get in Beat Street, and Beat Street kind of proved my point because I was in there for like 4 minutes, and they gave me a $400 check.
Mhm.
So you know what I'm saying? So you give me $100 a minute. So
I,
I
I
knew
was
the
I was gonna ask you how much of your influence was in that movie, Beat Street.
and while in Beat Street,
Yeah. Yeah.
a lot of it, because there were dudes in there that I mentored, like cats that mentored me. You know, I went back to school and I mentored them, and a lot of those dudes were in Beat Street. So yeah, heavy influence, heavy influence. You know, as a kid, as a kid, just you know. But then again, just the culture of graffiti was about being an outlaw.
Hmm.
So I said I got to figure out how I could be either in the background scenes, because that's why I held the camera and captured everything. I got photos from Beat Street, you know. I captured, I just kept capturing photographs, you know. And I think with the Shirt Kings, it showed me how to become uh, part of the foreground, you know, and be legal. Shirt Kings made me legal, you
Yeah.
know.
Hmm.
Okay, well, segueing into Shirt Kings, how did that whole Shirt King, the mighty Shirt Kings, got started? How did the squad get started? How did y'all come together?
Well, when I was home from college, it was like December. It must have been like December '85. No, it was like December '84. And you know, my boy Georgie and a couple other dudes, they were already airbrushing, and but I had no interest. And when George heard that I was home, you know, for the winter recess, he just kept calling me, calling me, calling me, calling me, and I just didn't want to go over there, you know. And it's my mom's. Thank God for her. She pushed me. She was like, "Go see what that boy wants." So I went over there, and he was in there airbrushing, and I was like, "Okay, this is cool, you know." But I got bigger plans, and he was like, "Nah, I feel I gotta show you, you know." And he put the airbrush in my hand, and I just started like painting. And he was like, "Yo, you're gonna be good. You're gonna be good." I'm like, "All right, cool, but I'm not gonna be doing this." And he was like, "Look, I'll give you equipment. You gotta do this. You gotta do it." And he gave me a little compressor. He gave me an airbrush, and he was like, "Here," he said, "just pay me later." And man, I just went home and started painting. And my mom's was my first customer, and she took it to her job. And when she wore, I did like a rose for her, and she wore it. And then everybody in her job wanted shirts. So dudes was coming where, yo, can you draw my Ferrari for me? Can you draw this? Can you draw that? Can you draw that? So I just started drawing cars and faces, and when Wands was coming with the money, he was like, here, 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 and yeah. So from there, I think I went back to school, finished out the semester, and was airbrushing up there. Did a couple of fairs. I was going to Savannah College of Art and Design, a SCAD student, you know, and next thing you know, I'm on TV out there with the airbrush. I'm like, it's like doors are opening.
Yeah.
And when I came back, it was like I hooked up with ASAP Ferg's dad. He was one of my best friends in high school. He was from Harlem, and he was doing shirts too, but he was hand painting shirts. And he was like, yo, like, come out to Harlem and we could do shirts together. And at the time, it was like that was big for me because the Bronx was one thing, Brooklyn is one thing, but Harlem was the Mecca. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's like it's where all the money was flowing. From downtown all the way to uptown. It was some kind of hustle going on. It was just a lot of money. It was just enterprising. So I started going to D Ferg's crib, ASAP Ferg's dad, and we just started like doing shirts together. And then he reminded me that you know that I used to do the pants and stuff in high school, and he was like, "Yo, what happened to your two boys? Because they were nice with it." He said, "You need to go find them." And I went out on a mission to go find my two boys from high school that we were super tight. So I left hanging out with D Ferg, went out to Brooklyn looking for Nike. I couldn't find him, but his mom's gave me Kashim's number. Ended up going out to Queens. In Queens, I ended up teaching Kashim how to airbrush. And but prior to that, he took me to Jam Master Jay's house. So that's how I ended up in Queens, and that's how we got the push. Because when we got to JMJ, you know, Jay was like, "Yo, this is crazy." He was
Mm-hmm.
like, he said, "Stay out here in Queens," and he was like, "Go to the Ave." And I'm like 17 years old, and I'm tripping. I'm like, this is the biggest dude on the planet. It's 1985, and he telling me to go to the Ave, and he likes my artwork. I'm like, I'm gonna do
He's
whatever he says. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Come on, think about it. Like '84, MTV came out. So we exposed to watching videos. And then we got, I think, jukebox late at night. Stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
you seeing Run DMC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But here I am knocking on his door. I just came from the South, and I had my Adidas on, and everybody's looking at me like, yo, you crazy. Like, well, oh, that's that New York stuff. So people just started getting up on the sounds and whatever, like whatever New York style was. But I'm at the Style Master's door now,
Mm-hmm.
as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so once he like told me to go to the Ave, like, sometimes you just gotta listen, you know,
Right.
and I believe fully that God was speaking through this man, for him to tell me that because he saw the plan when I didn't, because I did not want to be in Queens. Um, and Brooklyn was still crazy, so I didn't really want to do my business in Brooklyn, at the time. I was, but mostly like family members and then extended people, you
Right.
know but I just never saw Queens. And when Jay told me to go to the Ave, me and Kashim went up there and we found a Coliseum, and then we finally got in contact with Nike. It took him like a year to start airbrushing because he was just still hand painting. But Nike is like, he was the king of the characters. Like, we would go to his house after school and all of us would draw, and he would draw these characters with the gold chains and whatever we were wearing, you know.
Right.
It was a twist on what people were doing uptown, because they were just drawing b-boy characters, you know. I was drawing the b-boy characters with the fat laces and stuff like that, but Nike was like making them more cute, you know, more friendly, you know, especially more girl friendly too, you know, and then the hardest of the hardest would want to wear a cute little fluffy, you know, thing, you know, with a gold chain and Adidas on. And I was like, yo, something's going on here. So when I learned how to airbrush, it was like, okay, we're gonna use your work, you know. So when we opened up, we had all Nike's pictures on the wall, and I drew a couple, and Kashim drew a couple, and people would just come and pretty much like pick, like, oh, I need that one, I need that one. You know, we had names for it, because these are names that we were like playing around with when we were already kids. Like me and Nike used to go get Gucci stuff, so we'd be like, yo, you the Gucci kid, you know. You know, we was like 16 years old, because the high school of art and design was in Manhattan, and we were on 57th and 2nd Avenue. The Gucci shop was on 55th Street. So we as kids was out of our element and was in the city. So we were exposed to all these stores and these brands, you know, and then we found that it was affordable for us. Like, oh, $150 for a pair, you know, Gucci's, but they might be from last year, but nobody on the block know they from last year. So we was buying Gucci's and East Saint Laurent's and, you know, stuff like that, you know, at a young age.
Okay. So it's safe to say that y'all Shirt Kings started in 86.
Definitely June 6, 1986. It was a Saturday.
Wow.
I remember it vividly, bro. I remember even coming up with the name. And the funny thing is, like, with the name, like, I heard it come out my mouth, but it wasn't me talking. Now I know it was the Holy Ghost talking, but it wasn't me. And we were there brainstorming, and I said, how about, and it wasn't my voice, bro. And I was like, Shirt Kings, and it just rolled out my mouth. So that means God already had a plan for this thing, you know? And I was walking in it. I was walking in the plan, but not knowing, because I'm a kid, you know? I'm a kid in the street, but I'm not knowing that all this stuff is being orchestrated, you know? But I knew that we had the formula, you know? Kashim was from Queens, and he knew everybody out there. You know, me, born and raised in Brooklyn, but being from the Bronx, now I had the roots of the hip hop, you know, and then Nike had them characters and had that Marcy Projects swag, you know. So all three of us together, it just like, man, you know what I'm saying? It's like the Temptations, like.
It just worked. Yeah, it just worked.
It worked.
Okay. So the Coliseum, for some of the people that don't know what the Coliseum is, give it a quick description of the Coliseum.
Hold on, real quick. We had Caddy say something about the Coliseum. We got our brother Cadillac Jackson. He's up there in New York. He said, "I wish y'all could experience the Coliseum back in the '90s." Jesus.
Man, if you want to experience it on video, go see the ice cream video with Wu-Tang. That's the Coliseum.
Okay.
That's the Coliseum. Every day, all day, a party. Okay. When we first got there, like, Hashim had this big boom box, and like, come on, like, we would blast Public Enemy. Like, we was the first to play that. Public Enemy, EPMD, Ultramagnetic, like, and just blasting, you know, them that. Oh my goodness, the merchants used to complain. They was like, please, please, can you cut that music down? You're scaring our customers. And Kasim would be like, yo, cut it up higher, like, because you know, that defined us.
Yeah.
That defined who we were. You know, it was the music that was drawing the people because, you know, we were young and black, so they stuck us all the way in the back. It was like, we're gonna give you all a shot. And they stuck us in the back. And the first 2 days, nobody was venturing in the back. You know, that's like you getting off Hoyt and Skeeterhorn in Brooklyn. You know, you getting off, you know, in Brownsville somewhere, and the lights are low, and you know, you like, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that A train was a mother. Like you in a bad position, you know. So we was in a bad position all the way in the back. So the music is what drew everybody to us,
Right.
you know. So the Coliseum was just party central. Like I had a conversation where Larry, he's the manager there, and he was like, "Yo, what you started, brought so much notoriety to the Coliseum that these owners owe you money." And I never saw it that way. And he showed me pictures of buildings that they've bought because they've made so much money from the Coliseum, and that place has become so much of a landmark and such a prized property that these guys are able to buy high rises all over Queens. And so he opened my eyes. He said, "That's y'all. You guys were the commodity here that enabled, you know, the owners to have this land." He said, "You need to talk to them because they'll give you anything you want, bro." You know, and you know, and I sometimes I think we fail to look at it that way. You know, as you're the franchise. You know, you're the commodity, and you should be eating off yourself.
Right.
And it's funny that you were saying that about y'all blasting the music loud now, because you walk in pretty much any store now, what's going on? They got music blasting.
Yeah, yeah. We laid down the formula. You know, the formula was hip hop.
Right.
You know, when LL Cool J, when he came to the store for the first time, he stood there and he waited maybe 45 minutes before he opened his mouth. Like he just stared. And I asked him, "Why were you just standing there?" And he said, I asked him like 20 years later. He said, "Because this is the first time I've seen hip hop, all the elements in one place." Because we even had the dancers, all the IOU dancers, and they would come down, they would be there. Then you had the Busta Rhymes up and coming. You know, you like everybody was just sitting in there. Dudes that ain't had no record deals yet, they was on their way to getting record deals, and then dudes that had record deals like the Big Daddy Kanes and the Biz Markies were coming through. So it was like a melting pot. You know, up and coming producers would meet somebody and be like, "Yo, listen to my stuff." We throw it in a cassette. They be like, "Yo, that's kind of hot." Next, you know, this dude becomes a big producer because he produced some Big Daddy Kane stuff, and you know, Shirt Kings was a melting pot of culture. You know,
I can imagine the people that came through there. Yeah, I can imagine. Cadillac comment again. He said the Coliseum was something different. He said, "I used to go there every day after school. You either went to Shirt Kings to get a shirt, sneaker shops, or get a grill and some incense."
That's what's up, Cadillac. I like that. I like that. Yeah, but it was more than that because it was a place where opportunity, you know, where creativity met opportunity. You know, it wasn't just the Shirt Kings. It was Eddie Goldcaps, you know, doing all the grills, you know, and then from there, you know, being that I had that uptown hustle mentality, we opened up Shirt Kings in different places, you know, and we went out to Miami, and I ended up staying out there for a year. And Eddie with the gold caps, his brother Orlando, went out with me to Miami, and he's still there to this day, still doing grills, you know. And but Eddie himself went to Virginia, and then from Virginia he went to Atlanta, and he started the whole grills craze in Atlanta, you know, where Luda and Goody Mob and you know CeeLo, all of them, you know, that was Eddie's gold caps. You know, when you look at when you look at that movie ATL, that was shot in Eddie's shop.
Okay, then.
You know, so that means like the Coliseum was spreading. All the merchants from the Coliseum, we were going out to other places. I popped open a shop in Baltimore, you know. Me and Kashim popped open one in Brooklyn. We popped open in Roosevelt, Long Island, you know, DC, Miami, Virginia. That's why Pusha T is so close to us, because, you know, he has a history with Shirt Kings in Virginia, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Luke and that whole team, they got a history with Shirt Kings in Miami, you know. Flavor Flav and them got history with Shirt Kings in Roosevelt, Long Island, and the Coliseum,
right.
You know. And then you got the Brooklyn cats, you know. They got a history with, you know, Shirt Kings being in East New York, Brooklyn. So
with that, so you saying pretty much LL was that first real, I guess, break that y'all had?
Other than Jam Master Jay.
Other than Jam Master Jay, yeah.
Yeah, Jay was a returning customer, and he did exactly what he said he was going to do, that he was going to come and support.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to be a business partner, but he went to Europe, and, you know, I wasn't in like a mood to be waiting, like, cause I go to Harlem and make a couple of dollars quick, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so between me and Kashim, we had the money already, so we didn't really need Jay's money. LL was the pinnacle, because he came and wore it on every photo shoot that you could imagine.
Right.
So he was like created the whole swag of the uniform, you know, that this is what hip hop should be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he had a character of himself in front of the car he was driving at that time, you know, and it was on a sweatshirt. And so he embodied what Shirt Kings meant to hip hop, like totally, and then exposed it to the world, you know, by being in Rolling Stone and being in this magazine and being in that magazine. And it was like, wow, Jay was more personal. Like, you know, I could tell he wasn't telling anybody outside of his crew where he was getting his shirts from, because LL had to come find it. Yeah, best kept secret, you know. Because L had to search for it, you know. And I was like, don't they see each other in the office? Like, you know, like I used to go down to Elizabeth Street. I used to go over to Rush, and everybody was there. So I'm like, why, you know, why nobody coming down? You know, he wasn't telling nobody.
He wanted to keep it all for himself.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
it's mine.
Yeah.
So
mine.
So after LL, was LL the first one to ask you to do something for a music video, or did you have somebody else come to you before that? Because I know in your story you said that you did the jacket and the overalls for Around the Way Girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Me and the team. Yeah. There were others, you know. I think Biz was probably the first for the Vapors, because that was like 87. Yeah. I think it was Biz first, and it was a lot. Definitely Milk and Gizmo.
I was gonna say Audio 2, yeah.
Audio 2 is 87, so it was all around the same time. They all hit us at the same time, you know. But LL was more, you know, he was an icon then, you know, and he's an icon now. He's a GOAT now, but he was an icon then already at a young age, you know,
right?
Like platinum hits, you know, and then he's like one man. Run DMC was, you know, three.
Yeah.
So so L stood out like whoa, you know. So he was man. Whew, whew. Mm.
So LL pretty much, got y'all into a lot of the I guess you say the mainstream or the big magazines. Like when
Yeah.
I first saw his, I saw him on Right On. That's when I saw his.
Mm.
That's the first one I saw him on because
Yeah.
quick story, we had a spot down here, downtown my city, and they actually had that shirt. But at the time, I look, just check it out. At the time, I didn't know anything about Shirt Kings. I just saw a
Wow.
sweatshirt that had this art on it, and I was like, "Yo!" I had to get it. I can't remember how
Okay.
much it was. They sold that one. It didn't have like the Shirt King name or nothing like that. It just
Right.
had the image, and then they had
Yeah.
like different characters like Fred Flintstone with the bucket cap on and the gold chain, and
Yeah.
the b-boy, the traditional b-boy look. And then he had the different characters, and I was like, man, this is dope. Because at that time, I think I was maybe seventh grade. A lot of people
Right.
went in that then because I don't know how it was in New York, but we used to do those small rope chains with like the different color emblems of different high-end cars like Mercedes, BMWs, Volvos.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We used
Yeah.
we used
Yeah.
to do those down here too, like that. So uh, when I wore it at the school, it was like, man, where you get that from? Where you get that from? I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you.
So you
So yeah,
already know.
I'm right there with Jam Master Jay, man. I'm not telling you. You got to find it just like I found it. But to segue on into, okay, so you did Cool J, then Biz Markie. You did the artwork for Audio 2's first album. How did that come about? Real quick.
I mean, a lot of it is relationship. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we all used to go to Latin quarters, see each other. You know, and then the idea just might spark, and they'd be like, "Yo, we're gonna call you on Monday. Um, we got this idea," and we be like, "All right, cool." We'll discuss the details, and then and if the money is right, and it wasn't really even about the money. It was about more of who the person was and
Right.
how we vibed with the person,
Right.
and then the opportunity just presented itself, and me and Nike did that together. He did the milk carton, I did the gizmo, and we did the individual shirts, and then we did canvas, and then they did the photo shoot, so
Mm-hmm.
it was more of a mutual, like coming together with other people and figuring out, how the presentation would be with our
Okay.
artwork.
Right. So I see some pieces behind you. Is it something you want to show us back there?
And I'm just
I see some pieces
see.
back there.
Yeah, I got.
Put him on the big screen.
Let me get to it right quick.
Yeah, throw him on the big screen real quick. Show some of the artwork.
Yeah.
So I got my pieces. Got one.
The old Biggie.
Yeah.
Who was that up on the Biggie?
Is that David Bowie?
David
David
Bowie.
Bowie.
Yeah.
Is that Ed Lover at the top? Who is that right there?
They're like Craig Mack.
Nah,
Oh, the one with the hat
Nina.
on. Or is that Ice-T?
That look
That's
like
Ice.
Yeah,
Ice-T.
that's
Okay,
Ice.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Ice. And then Nina Simone.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I see it now.
And you got Rocky, and then you got George Clinton. Did this George Clinton piece.
Nice.
Now, when you do a piece like that, how long does it take you from start to finish?
Man, it depends on how I'm feeling. I might knock it out in 20 minutes if I feel like,
Okay,
Yeah.
then.
it might take a week I just go with the flow.
Right. You have
Okay.
any vintage pieces nearby, or everything is just kind of like recent paintings?
Now I got some vintage pieces. Like, let me see what I got here.
I know our brother Ro from another bad creation is looking at this, so you know. Okay then.
Nice.
Yes, sir. Man, the colors are so like pop. They just pop, bro. Man, the colors on that thing pop though, for real.
That's on
How old is that piece?
Oh, bro. I I try to hold on to a lot of a lot of the stuff.
Right.
Got like, this is not that old, but
Dapper Dan. Yes, sir.
Nice.
Man, we got people that actually need some stuff like that right now.
Wow.
I'm super expensive now though.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you.
This is actually Ricky's. I mean, yeah, this is Ricky's. Ricky Bell's. Got that.
Roger Rabbit. Man, that's dope, man.
Whose was that?
Oh, nobody's.
That's just a display piece.
Yeah, I'm just pretty much
So
doing them.
so let me ask you a question. Who came
Uh-huh.
up with the idea of putting the rhinestones on the clothes?
Oh, that was my idea. When I had the store in Harlem, that was when I came back from Miami. I popped open a store in Harlem across the street from the Apollo Theater, and Harlem was like flashy, and a lot of the dudes from Harlem, were enabled to go to a lot of the fights and stuff. And I met I met Dapper Dan,
Mm-hmm.
and Dapper Dan gave me an offer that I couldn't refuse. He was like, "I heard your name is popping. I'm popping here. All my customers come in and they talk about you, and your team." So he was like, "How much you pay here?" So I told him how much the rent was. But I'm across the street from the Apollo, so I'm not really trying to give that up.
Mm-hmm.
But Dapper Dan was like, "I'm over here on Fifth Avenue, but Fifth Avenue in Harlem, you know?" So I was like, "Wow, Fifth Avenue sounds good." So I was like, "How much you gonna charge me, rent?" And he was like, "Man, really?" So I'm not charging you no rent. He was like, "Come move down here." So I packed up Harlem and I went down with Dapper Dan. It was just same customers, same customer base, but even wider because um he knows more people than I do,
Mm-hmm.
like I knew people, but Dap knew people were coming from everywhere. They was coming from Bama, they was coming from Ohio, they was coming from everywhere to Dapper Dan's. So now I didn't have to go out of town because all the towns was coming there.
Right.
So one day, Mike Tyson comes in there, him and man, who was his manager, his agent
Oh,
at the time?
Don King.
Yeah, him and Don come in there and they got on these jackets and they got rhinestones on it, and then it had airbrush. And I was like, "Where you got those from?" And Don King was like, "You need to start making these." He said, "We got them from this kid, Tony Alamo in Vegas. He sell them in a mall for $1,500." And that's why I was like, "Oh, I like that." I was like, 15. I was like, I can do that. So, I being, Dapper Dan is my mentor. I do what he does. He studies everything. So I just start studying the jacket. I think Don King let me hold the jacket, so I was like really like digging into it.
Mhm.
Might have took it down to the city and asked people, and then they showed me, oh, this is what you need to do. You need this, you need that. And so I just bought everything and started doing the rhinestones. And I think my first job was with BBD.
Mm-hmm.
I started putting stones on their stuff. I mean, besides like the hustlers that were coming to Dapper Dan's spot,
Right.
but visibly it was with Michael Biv. I met him in Harlem. He came one Harlem day, and he was with Ricky and Ron. And I had the shop across the street from Apollo, and me and him conversated. We talked, and we exchanged numbers, but I didn't hear from him till like a year later. And I started doing the Stones, and then Row and them, another bad creation,
Hmm.
So it just got popular. Plus, I was able to charge, crazy, you know. Cause I was like, I was looking at the jacket that Don King had, and I was like, man, I'm way better than that with the art, you know. Even though they were dope,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, they were dope, but I'm drawing ghetto art. I'm drawing hood art.
There you
I'm
go.
not trying to do art, and it worked out. It really worked out, So
How long did it take to put the rhinestones on top of you actually doing your art on the pieces?
hours. I had to hire two girls, Asha and oh, she gonna kill me, but yeah, I had to hire them.
All right.
They said they fingers still hurt to this day. You know.
Hey, it's funny about the rhinestones because I used to put rhinestones on like the emblems of my baseball hats back in the day, and I had my grandma in the kitchen with the hot glue gun plugged up. You know what I'm saying? And I would be sticking the rhinestones on my hat. You know what I'm saying? And then on the little baseball right here on the back, I would put one on the baseball on the back of the hat also. You know what I'm saying? So,
so the grind.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah. I remember first seeing BBD with the airbrush overalls and stuff, and I was like, man, that's dope right there. So I had found me like you were saying back in the day, you didn't want to mess up your clothes. So I had my cousin, he was the artist of the family. I had him draw Bart Simpson on one of my legs on a pair of pants that I had the knee. You know what I'm saying? The knee was worn out, so I could use that pair of pants. Mom wasn't having that. You know what I'm saying? Drawing on your clothes and stuff. You know what I mean? But I mean, we was talking about this like probably like what was that? A few months ago, 6-7 months ago, where we was talking about finding some old school overalls and getting somebody to airbrush them because I want to. You know what I'm saying? I like that. You know what I mean? I want to bring that kind of back. You know what I mean? And just get a pair of Guess overalls like how they used to make it back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like GT said. You know what I mean?
But everything is
Guess overalls. Yeah, that's why I said like they make, like I said, they used to make them back in the day where they was kind of, had that nice baggy look, and you would just rock them back in the day. So that's kind of like what I wanted to do is find me some, but I just can't find none in fat boy sizes. You know what I'm saying?
Go to a thrift store. Go to like Goodwill. Trust me, if you go, you'll find them in there.
Yeah,
for a good price too.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I actually did that. I think it was 1991, my high school year. I actually did it. I had a pair of Union Bays overalls, and I did it on my right pant leg. I spelled my name like the big bubble letters. I spelled my name, my first name and my first initial of my last name. Go to school, man. Who did that? I'm not telling you.
Yeah, see,
I wanted to be the only one, to actually have that. And then people started venturing off and doing it on their own. So Man, that was a dope time, man. Like the 90s, man.
Yeah,
It don't
yeah.
get no better than the 90s, man.
Creative, very
Very,
creative time.
Yeah. Yeah.
very everything, regardless the music, the fashion, everything in
Yeah.
the 90s, man, it was banging. Uh,
We got a
got
couple of questions. I was gonna say
okay.
we got a couple of questions in the chat. Feeler Fresh 313 wanted to ask: is there a platform that you use to sell any of your work?
Instagram.
Just hit you up in the DM or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's been working pretty well for me.
Yeah.
Social media,
Somebody else asked, Beer Jedi asked, he said, do you have any sneaker collab talks like Nike did with Futura?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. And I want to say
I would love to.
uh
Like Jordan reached out and nothing came out of that as of yet, you know.
okay.
But that's probably the only people that spoke to me. I mean, I've done events with Nike,
huh?
you know.
Yeah, I saw the shirts that you did. You did some shirts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw the shirts. Yeah, I saw those. Those are pretty dope.
Thank
Those are
you.
pretty dope.
Thank you.
Throwback King wanted to know, how did the Just Don and Tops collab come about?
I knew Don for a minute. I met him like maybe about 6, 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, it's more relationship. Like, you know, you don't go out to meet somebody to do some work. That's kind of like, because you could turn people off, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, I respect what you do and he respect what I do, and then we just maintain being acquaintances, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and hitting each other up. I'm showing him stuff, you know, he showed me some stuff he working on, whatever. And like he always says, he said, I'm always looking for the right project. He said one day it's gonna come down the tube, you know, and it's gonna make sense. And he called me last week, and that project made sense, you know. Jackie Robinson, you know, not only was he a ball player, he was an activist, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And then on top of that, was little known is that when my dad, you know, when he's from Honduras, so when he came to this country, the first job he had, he was working for Jackie Robinson.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, Jackie Robinson owned um, a franchise called Chock full of Nuts. It's the equivalent of Starbucks. It's like Magic owning, you know, when he had a bunch of franchise and percent in Starbucks.
Right.
This is the same thing that Jackie Robinson had. So my dad said he used to come in there and treat everybody. So he said, yo, this was a beautiful man. Like he come in there, he had a long mink. He come in there, but he'll ask you about your wife. He'll ask you, he knew everybody by name, you know, he'll shake your hand. He spend time with you. You know, he want to know about who you are, you know. And when my dad told me that, that stuck with me. So to do this card, it's like, that's a no brainer. Yeah, I'm doing
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? Like it means so much to you know, my entrepreneurship, because we don't know that he was an entrepreneur. We don't know that Sugar Ray was an entrepreneur. You know,
Right.
that's why it's so much of a disconnect. It's so
Yeah.
much of a disconnect from you know, from generation to generation. That's why I try to stay connected to the younger generation. You
Mm-hmm.
know, yeah, because I never knew he owned. I just knew he was a great baseball player, this and that, but I didn't know he had businesses. You know, and then Dapper Dan told me that Sugar Ray had businesses all through Harlem. You know, and employees. So I was like, oh, so Puffy ain't the first. You know, I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, so the way that came about was just he called me like Wednesday. No, he called me Tuesday. I did it Thursday, and they picked it up Thursday night, and it came out Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So it
That's
was
dope,
just like,
man.
quick turnaround. Like I felt it had to be done, you know, and I was gonna cheat and use a projector so I can get his face right. I went and bought one, and God said, "No, no, 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 no."
No, 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 no.
Yeah, that projector did not work. I was like, so I went straight freehand on it and just just did what I know, man. You know,
Right, right. On that, do they have like a limited amount of cars that they doing? Or
it was just for 24 hours,
oh, okay. So it came out that Friday.
Friday, and sold out. Sold
Wow,
out quick. Yeah,
Wow.
man.
sold out. Like, wow. I don't know how they do that. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
For real.
it's millions of people in the world. I mean, billions of people in the world. Like
you got people out there that's still into trading cards, man. So
collecting. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we did a show a while back about it, man, and a lot of people started
Wow.
bringing out their old trading cards and stuff like that, man. It was like,
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I seen you the link to it, man. It was beautiful, man.
Oh yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
dope
I want
time,
to
yeah.
see that.
Uh,
Wow.
you got another one, Hot? You got another question you want to ask?
Talk to us. Talk to us real quick about Shirt King's Academy, how that came about, and pretty much, what that entails.
Um, there's a lot of us. Like I've trained a lot of people to airbrush, you know. So each one of them can hold the name of Shirt King. But I felt there was a time for me to distinguish, who am I within that? Not just the person who, put the whole thing together, but what am I about? And so the academy, that came like I prayed, I brainstormed, and then I heard that name, and that's like it's like Rockefeller becoming Rock Nation, you know. So it was like Shirt Kings, then the Mighty Shirt Kings, right, and then Shirt King Academy, which is the last couple of years I've been going into schools and been teaching a lot of the youth on the East Coast and the West Coast. I work with three different nonprofit organizations:
Mm-hmm.
Public Color, JBFCS, and Children of Promise NYC. JBFCS is Jewish Board of Family Children Services. So they all three work with inner city kids, that have been put in uh, not in a good position in life, and I use my art as a healing, as a healing tool. You know, I've seen what art can do. I've seen the power of it. You know, and so the academy is eventually. I don't know if it's ever going to be nonprofit status.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it's along that line. It's just about teaching, educating about hip hop, about the power of art, entrepreneurship, uh, and just tapping into your infinite potential. I'm a man of God, so it's like this is my church.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're only gonna get something good out of this. You know, So it's not the Mighty Shirt Kings where it's like the notoriety. It's not Shirt Kings, it's not the profit, to get money. It's Shirt King Academy. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
imparting. This impartation.
Hmm.
I'm giving you something,
Giving back to the youth.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I actually had a dream, and in that dream I seen a whole bunch of youth, like, and they had on do rags and all of this, and that's how I got into. Because when I woke up, I told my brother about it because he was like, "Yo," he said, "Our cousin works for a nonprofit, and he works with, he called them bad kids. He works with bad kids. But it's a place really where it's a alternative to incarceration. Instead of them being incarcerated, they go into this program where they're forced to go to school and whatever, but they have all these other amenities for these kids. They get to go to the museums, they get to go
Right.
to all these things. So I called my cousin up, and he was like, "Man, you called at the right time because we got like $60,000 left over on the budget, and we need to figure out how to spend it." He said,
Mm-hmm.
"Can you write some type of curriculum?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I went on a computer, found out what the word curriculum means, and and wrote out a program and presented. And they was like, "Okay, well, we need this, that, that." I went back, found out what that was. Boom, pen game terrible. Like, I mean, terrible meaning good. Like,
Yeah.
I submitted it, and they was like, "All right, cool," and they released the budget, and then they had a writer come in. He wrote a New York Times bestseller book called I think like Homeless in Grand Central. Like he
Mm-hmm.
was homeless in Grand Central Station, living in the train tunnels, stuff like that. Then he wrote a book about it, and he became a big success. So they paired me with him. So he was teaching the kids how to write, and I was teaching the kids how to um, draw their situation. And then we created a book, and then that book got published, and went around to all the different facilities and whatever. And then from there, I went to Public Color, and then from Public Color, I just kept going.
That's dope, man. That's
Yeah.
dope. Y'all did have a book come out, right? And y'all
Yeah,
published your.
yeah. Shirt Kings, Pioneers of Hip Hop Fashion. You know, it just highlights 87 to 89. You know, all the stuff that we were doing, how Shirt Kings came about,
Mm-hmm.
how the graffiti influenced T-shirts. What was the stuff that I went through, prior to creating the Shirt Kings, moniker, you know.
The
So
grind.
yeah,
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 the grind.
where it came from, basically like what the source was,
Right.
and it's like putting your pain and putting your whole lifestyle into a T-shirt,
Mm-hmm.
everything that you wore, anything that you've been through, anything that because the way them big fat chains, you had to be somebody, or you know what I'm saying. You was either on one side or you was on the other side. There was no
Right.
middle ground,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, oh, now I got to defend myself for the goal that I worked hard, and I want to wear it, and I want to buy it, and now somebody wants to take it, like So it's a struggle just like within that, in New York City at that time period. It wasn't all good. Like everybody be like, I want to go back to the 80s and 90s. I'll be like, no, you don't. I I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait. I knew there was gonna be a brighter day one day. I was like, I can't wait to get out of this. It was too much pressure for a young man.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Right.
what made you go out there to Cali?
I met I met a I met a oh man, what's this girl's name? Uh, she used to be on the Cosby Show, the smallest one, and she's
Come on,
on the
Olivia.
yeah.
Bright skin.
Raven Simone.
Raven Simone.
Raven
Yeah,
Simone.
Raven. I met Raven Simone in New York, and I did the groupie thing. I stood online, I waited for like 3 hours. I bought her album. She did some little CD with her singing. I bought it. I waited online. I made a T-shirt for her. So when I got to her, now see, this is game. I'm gonna put everybody up on game, right?
All right.
This is how you do.
Talk to
You
us.
gotta learn how to be a giver. She's sitting at that table and everybody's extracting from her,
Mm-hmm.
taking from her, taking her time up. She's giving them her autograph, but nobody's giving her anything.
Right.
At the end of the day, they just sucking from her and then they gone. I gave her a t-shirt, you know, like God showed me to bless her. And her whole demeanor changed because she was sitting there like, oh boy, fake smiling. But when she
Yeah.
saw that shirt, she jumped up like she was on a TV show and started acting crazy. And she started flipping around and jumping around. She was like, "Oh my God, this is for me! This is for me! This is for me!" And she was like, "Come back here! Come back behind the table. I want you to meet my dad." And I was like, "Yo, you too young for me. I ain't trying to marry you. What you talking about?" And she was like, nah, my dad's my manager, And so I gave the dad the book and he went all the way in the back. The stylist comes out and was like, "Yo, you Phade?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Dude, I never met you before, but I'm the one that used to cut your checks when you did the Belle Biv DeVoe and all back another bad creation stuff."
Wow.
Yeah. She was cutting the checks for me. She was like, "Yo, like I finally get to meet you." And then she started telling me, she was like, "Look, bring your ass to Cali."
Mm.
She said, "I work for Disney right now. Her show is popping." They said, "A matter of fact, we want you to do an outfit for her for the show." So they hired me for that. And everything went so smooth. I was like, that was in '05. I was like, I'm moving to LA.
Yeah. I'm out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
Because the last time that happened, I was with Belle Biv DeVoe and they won 6 awards and everything. We was out here and the Wayans brothers was like, "Yo, move out to LA." And I didn't listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
And all hell broke loose for me. Like, it wasn't good. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Second time around, I was like, I'm moving.
Well, so you got your second chance now.
Yeah, did I? Whew, whew.
Yeah, it's funny how things come full circle, man. Just
Yeah.
listening to everything that you're saying, man. Just like how people, pushed you to do stuff that you didn't know was in you. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And
yeah,
look at where you're at. You know what I mean? I think a lot of times it takes people to see something in us that we don't see, and they be like,
Right.
you should try that when we kind of
Right.
scared or nervous about trying it. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So it's always good to have people like that'll push you. Like your mom's pushed you to do, when she did the shirt, like you said, she gave you the money, go buy some more paint. That kind of
Yeah,
pushed you to do more stuff, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And then you saw the rewards from it. So yeah, I think it takes people in our lives, somebody we might not even know that'll be like, "Man, that's dope, man. You should try that." You know what I
yeah,
mean? So that's dope, man, to hear, the influences that you had or the people that kind of pushed you to do something.
yeah.
You know?
I believe it's been orchestrated, man. It's really been orchestrated. And right now I'm at a point where I feel it's really just the beginning now. I think all the first 20, 25 years was just like practice.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's gonna be some real business now. Like, I'll give you a quick story if you know anything about uh about Caleb. And he had a promise over him, and he got the promise when he was 80 years old,
Mm-hmm.
but he heard the promise when he was 40. But 40 years passed, and a whole generation had to die out. So it was only him and Joshua left.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Yo, I was there when you got the promise. I'm entitled to it also." And he said, "Give me my mountain." And he said, "I'm 80 years old, but I'm wiser now than when I was 40, but I feel like I'm 20."
Mm-hmm.
So he still feels youthful,
Right.
but he's gained 40 more years of wisdom. So he's like, "It's time. Give me my mountain." And that's how I feel now. So it's beyond age. It's beyond, there's no limit to this. It's like, this is the beginning, bro.
Mm-hmm.
This is a new beginning, especially during like like this pandemic, like it's gonna show really who you are,
Yeah.
And so far, it's been like project after project after project, like Chinatown Market and collab with LL Cool J. Like this is like dream stuff,
Yeah. Blessings,
Like,
man. That's them doors opening up, and blessings.
Yeah, won't he do it?
yes. I'm like, man, this is mind blowing. Like for
Still can't
everybody,
believe it. Can't believe it.
I can't believe it.
Hey,
Then Don
and
C comes with a card. Like my artwork is on a Topps card. Like who does that?
for real.
Like come on. Like
Yeah,
come on.
that's
Only God can do that, bro.
Yeah,
They
that's
ain't-
why
man.
won't he
come
do
on.
it?
Yeah, if I
Hey,
slap somebody, they tell me God ain't real. I'll be like, I'll be reading stuff. I'll be like, are you bugging? Like, are you really bugging? Like, wow.
Yeah, for real. The cup is running over.
Yeah. Oh, it's just beginning,
Right.
Mhm.
So now I can see how other people feel, but along with that comes with a lot of stuff, But it's just like there is because I used to tell my moms when I was young, I was like, why we don't own no buildings? Why we don't? And she's like looking at me like you you talking crazy, boy. Like I'm like, but why can't I own that building? Like who's stopping me? So
Right.
that's why the business part was so easy, But it's not over. That was all training ground. That's training ground for what
Yeah.
I'm gonna get into now, Remember, King David had 3 different anointings. After he killed Goliath, he went right back into the trenches and was shoveling sheep shit. He ain't become king that day.
Mm-mm.
The oil flowed on him. And then he went out to the field, killed Goliath, but he, it took another 12 or 37 years before he even became king. I think 37 years.
Mhm.
So this ain't no, you know what I'm saying? If we pattern our lives according to how man thinks, then we going it's not gonna work. We got to
Right.
pattern our, because remember people used to live to 120 years old back in the days.
Not no more.
Yeah.
That's rare.
You can if you're gonna listen to how to eat. If you're gonna listen to God, He gonna tell you how to eat.
True.
You know what I'm saying? We got some people going to 100 and something now. So that mean 80 was like a baby back then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
My grandma just turned 92.
Man, see?
Yeah.
I rest my case.
Yeah. Yeah. So is there any new projects you can talk about, or anything that you might have coming down the pipeline now?
I mean, there are collaborations, there's actually September 15th, there's going to be an auction. I'm part of an auction that's coming up where they got a couple of my pieces that they're going to auction off, and I believe that's going to determine a new value for me because, it's a big auction house, it's Sotheby's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think that's going to create a new value on my work.
Mm.
If one of my pieces go for 1.8 million or 100 million, I can't do a $20 t-shirt no more.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you.
In my head, I was like,
I'm gonna tell you right now. Go ahead and hook that retro talk form before the auction.
I'm like, get me now.
yeah.
Hey, I'm putting my bid in right now. So,
Yeah.
is it gonna be like artwork that you got hanging on the wall, or you got like clothing pieces?
Clothing, artwork, and photography.
Okay.
Something got to hit.
They said that again, right?
Yeah, it's gonna hit.
You still doing photography, right?
Nah, I just learned how to salvage what I have.
Oh, okay.
And I license a lot of my photos to like different movies and documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one that just came out, the remix. It's on Netflix. I licensed 3 photos to them. To Nas, I licensed like 10 photos. for his documentary, for the Roxanne, Roxanne,
Roxanne, yeah.
just yeah, Wu Tang, so you gotta figure out like what all this means, like how I'm gonna continue to get money. Because when I was young, somebody came to me and was like, "What if I break your hands? What you gonna do?" I was like, "Wow, that's a deep question."
Mhm.
So I always was on a mission to prepare myself for the future, but I'm gonna break your face first. You know what I'm saying? You ain't breaking nothing on me. But it was a genuine question,
Right.
like, oh wow, like, but that ain't what God want for me. So, you know.
That's what's up. What else you got, Black? You got anything else?
Um,
What's that right there? Bruce, is that
sleep right there, ain't it?
Bruce Lee
Yeah.
with the gold chain on? Is that going to auction or is that something you just did?
Hold it,
I ain't
hold
showed
it,
him this yet.
hold it right quick.
Yeah.
Let me put it on the big screen.
That's
He
dope.
got a grill in his mouth.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then, man, that is dope, bro. Man, I'm just so amazed at your work, bro. On everything. I'm
Thank you,
just,
bro.
you know what? I'm sitting here and I'm listening and I'm soaking it up. All the questions that I had, they kind of like went out of my head because I'm just so in awe at your work, bro. And I'm saying I'm starstruck over your work because once I hear or see anything that goes back to my era, I just start getting chill bumps. And what's that right there?
A photo I shot on a G train way back.
Man.
Who was that? Who was that in the picture?
My boy Dean, my boy Guy from the Bronx, Dean from Bushwick, Brooklyn. That's my boy Nike from Marcy, end up becoming my Shirt King partner. And then my boy Todd from the Bronx. Todd is LL Cool J's bodyguard now.
Oh, okay.
So we keep it all hip hop, I got your boy here. I caught this in Atlanta.
Cube.
Yeah.
That's the Jerry Curl cube, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. we got somebody beer jet. I said let him go ahead and put his order in for his shirt right now.
I caught this one in '98.
Jigga.
Oh, I knew it was something I wanted to ask. How did the whole the Cosby Show thing come around?
Oh, we were in a club one night, and it was me, Nike, my boy Chase, Jazzo, Jay-Z, and we went to some club, and just a train piece. Did.
Yeah, Fat Albert.
Yeah.
Fade.
You got Fade with the Fat Albert. That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Then this is like the.
Hold on,
these are the pieces they can get. Okay, there we go.
Man. The essence of hip hop right there.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have a lot of people from this this chat sending you friend requests on IG, bro.
If you look at Nas's new video, you're gonna see this piece in there.
Cool V.
Yeah. The Ultra Black video.
Yeah, Ultra Black.
Yeah, I seen it. Now, I'll be honest with you. Nas is one of my favorite rappers. He's one of my favorite hip hop artists. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I'm a Rakim fan.
I'm not just saying that because you're on here. That's a fact. That's a fact. I love what he did with the National Orchestra. Did you see that
sir.
where he did that the Illmatic with the with the orchestra behind him.
Yeah.
That was dope. I love stuff like that.
Nas is a
Yes, sir.
genius, bro.
Yeah.
I mess with Nas, man. Hopefully we could do my documentary, We'll
Yeah.
see how that works.
I think he's a fellow Virgo. You know what I mean? I think he's a Virgo like myself. So,
Yeah, I think his birthday September 5th, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Man, what's the question you just asked again?
About
Yeah.
the kind.
So we was in the club and went downstairs and we saw Malcolm Jamal Warner. And we choked up, everybody was like, oh shit, Malcolm is there. Malcolm, ran back upstairs, told everybody like, yo, Malcolm is downstairs. So then we all went downstairs and was like, none of us was even drinking, but we was just standing by the bar acting like we was, whatever, and we like looking at him, like I ain't gonna lie, we was like straight groupies that day. We was like,
Oh my God.
yeah, and I made it a business to always carry a photo album. So I had the photo album and we had the young boy with us, Big Tyson, and we was like, I was like, yo, take this photo album and you go talk to him, because we not going over there, And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go. And he took the photo album, he went over there and started kicking it with him, and then showed him the photo album. And then when he turned around and Tyson was pointing at us, he was like, yo, that's them right there. And then called us over and we came over there and then that was it, We just started kicking it with him, and then he was like, yo, I want a shirt done for the show. And then he ordered another shirt, and then it just kept morphing from there, Kept morphing. And then Bill wanted one, and it was a good, we was in a good place,
yeah.
Do you remember the piece that you made for Bill Cosby?
Yeah, his face was on it. It was on an episode. It's on an episode. Then
really?
they wanted they were in a race with Homer and Bart. So he wanted a picture of him choking Homer and and the other one choking Bart on the shirt, So they got a couple of pieces, And then we gave Bill a jacket. We made like about 50 limited jackets. And we gave one to Bill. And then Nike and Kashim end up going. I was out of town, so they end up going to the set. They end up going on the official set. So it was like Malcolm's like friend forever,
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Cool.
dope. That is dope.
Cool.
That is dope. I think that was all the questions I had. Like I said, it just takes me back to the whole 80s, man. Just goosebumps over here.
That's what's up. But you got to go backwards to propel yourself forward.
Right.
So
Right.
If you don't know your history, you can't really go nowhere. So
Facts.
Facts. Dig up these wells.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. So let me ask you something. All those clothes behind you, those pieces that you working on, or is that stuff you've already done?
That's my stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like I get a lot of things from different companies, so it might be like from this company, from that company, and I just put them all up there. I got thousands of jackets from different people,
Right.
You know who just blessed me? Andy Hilfiger. He blessed me with these like camouflage rain pants, like crazy. I was like, wow. So I got stuff like that up there, like I'll wear one time, especially like if I'm hanging out with Dapper Dan, it's like I gotta come correct, So
yeah,
I gotta
Dapper,
come with, yeah, exactly. So, but he got his style, I got my style, so I'm gonna come, but I'm gonna have something where he gonna be like, oh, that boy, where you got those from, like that, and spark an idea in him, and sometimes I wear a suit with him, but he's the one that either make the suit or he'll dress me, in it, but I'll try to keep something something fresh, you know,
Right.
like
Right.
Oh, I do got one more question. How did the Supreme collab come about?
once again, relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm part of a graffiti crew called TNT, and TNT is called it's called the nation's top. Later on, we morphed into TC5, which is originally the Crazy Five, but it turned into the Cool Five. So, like, if you go online and put in the Cool Five, you'll see a lot of my comrades work. Like, we got the top writers in the city. It's like about 100 of us.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm one of the elders in that crew, and one of the guys who is part of the TC5 team, his name is Wes, West, and Wes started a company later on in life called PNB Nation, and then with the experience from PNB Nation, he hooked up with one of the guys from Stussy, and you know he became part of that Supreme team. So when I moved out to LA, I was already like going up to his office and just kind of like kicking it with him. I never even dreamed of, you know, being a part of that, you know, of what was going on.
Right.
And once the book came out in 2014. So like about a year later, he was like, "Yo, you know, not even a year later. I guess the impact of the book was so you know for the culture, you know, that people just started passing that book around and start seeing it. And he just, you know, he hit me up and was like, "Yo, you want to do something with Supreme?" And he showed me what the budget is, and I was like, "Okay, cool, whatever," you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't set out like, "Oh, I'm gonna do something for Supreme." It was just, you know, because Wes is my boy. You know,
Yeah.
I'm his OG. You know, when it comes to the graffiti world. So he showed me exactly what they wanted. They picked a picture out of the book, and then we went from there. And it became a classic. You know, became a classic T-shirt.
Cool. Cool.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I had, Black.
Yeah,
You know.
I think we kind of like covered everything, man. You know, even the chat, you know, uh, had their questions, and you know, we answered accordingly. Like I said,
Okay,
I've been kind of under the weather, so you know, I was trying not to talk too much and you know, be coughing at the same time. So,
I
uh,
got you.
this has been one dope show. I appreciate you for coming through, bro. For those who just came in, give them your information, where they can find you, where they can find anything that you got for sale. Just tell them everything that they need to know about you, man.
Uh, I mean, most of my work is like on Instagram, so you can go to Shirt King Academy, which is open, or you can go to Shirt King Phade, you know, which is more private, you know. It's pretty much the same things going on. It's just that I want to keep a lot of the spam away. I don't like having to fight that, so I just keep it private and pick and choose who's coming
Understand?
into that arena over there because I can't take that at all, you know.
Understand?
Understandable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, like you said, go on IG, check them out. Shirt King Academy, Shirt King Fade.
Oh, you
Uh,
know what we didn't talk about, bro?
what's that?
Can't miss this.
Uh.
Paid in. Is that paid in full?
Exactly. Where we
Oh,
at?
yeah, he did do that. Do the shirt. So
Cult
who?
classic.
What relationship was that to get that right there?
Jay-Z.
Okay.
That's him and Dame Dash's movie, and they wanted to recreate the 80s in such a way that they contacted Dapper Dan and they contacted me, and they sent somebody over to me, and they gave me free range, you know. They just said we want 80s. So what I did was recreate a style that like one of my first shirts was a bubble style graffiti,
Mm-hmm.
and I sold that to some dealers in Harlem, and that kind of gave me the confidence that my work was you know being immortalized, because
Mhm.
these dudes had so much money, and so I went from like $5 to $10 to 20, and then when I met these dealers through my boy Black, it's another Black, you know what I'm saying?
I'm like, yeah, I be,
from the Bronx,
right.
he got a ministry now in North Carolina. He's a prophet, so he really strong in this, and so we conversate how God was orchestrating. Like, we was on the corner, and we was selling, but we was really looking for Jesus at the time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we ain't know we was looking for him, but we was on that corner every day for a reason.
Right.
And when he came to me and was like, "Yo, my supplier saw my shirt." And so I ended up going to Harlem with him and met. It was a little kid too. It looked like he was 15 years old. All this money in the building, and so I did a bubble letter just like that for it. And so 20 years later, I'm recreating that
Right.
well, not 20 years, 15 or whatever. I don't know, because I think that was like 80, 85. It was 85, and this movie is 2000. So that's
Mm-hmm.
15 years.
Hmm.
So I just recreated what I already did 15 years prior, and it just turned into a cult classic. Like, it really, like the kids be saying, it really slapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. That it did.
That's one of
That it
the
did.
all-time hood classics too, right there. Paid in
Yeah,
full. Yes, sir.
yeah, man.
So
I'm
so who
about to
had
do, huh?
no, go ahead. What were you saying? You was about to do what?
Yeah, I'm about to do like limited, like some hood, some sweatshirts. I'm gonna do like maybe 50 of them, and just end it like that. Because there's so much like fake stuff out there. Everybody's recreating it. I came down on so many people, and a lot of them was like, "Yo," and they just stopped selling them,
Hmm.
or they're like, "Yo, let's collaborate," and then we'll collaborate together, whatever. But I'm gonna like really, because this is like this is part of my life. Like I
Yeah.
went into a drug den, you know what I'm saying, and came up with this design. Like, I had to go behind enemy lines, and
Mm-hmm.
to see somebody just take it and then be like, "Yo, I'm doing this." Like, I just seen this girl do it, so I hit her up and I was like, "Yo, where my money at?" And she just started laughing. Like, you're promoting this like this is yours, but there is an author of this. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is blood, sweat, and tears. This is hard work. This is like graffiti, being on a train. And it's like, this is my life experience on that shirt. That's why I guess it's slapping, because you feel, the movement, you feel the life, you feel the life that I lived, and it translated so much to Cameron, and wearing that in that movie, but you got to give credit where credit is due. Like, and nobody is just going to do that like 20, 30 years ago,
Right.
do that
Mm-mm.
do that type of style. It's a combination of a lot of things, you know
So where's that sweatshirt now? Who has that sweatshirt?
probably the stylist. It should be, you know I know he don't have it. It's probably away in somebody's garage or something.
They probably got it tucked away somewhere, just sitting.
Yeah, it is. It has to be. It has
Cause,
to be.
'cause you don't get rid of nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm gonna this gonna be my last question.
All right.
You know all that stuff that you have, like your artwork, the old pieces, stuff like that, the pictures. Have you ever thought about like putting that in a museum, or has anybody ever approached you about putting y'all's artwork or your artwork in a museum, like those pictures and stuff like that?
I've been like talking to people, you know. Uh, like, I got a friend at the Smithsonian, You know, they bought Africa Bambaata's record collection.
Mm.
Um, they've bought Jamel Shabazz's photography. You know, they bought some, you know, collection from him. You know, so there's people out there, you know, to talk to. Smithsonian is promising. I just felt that I'm not ready yet because this stuff still needs to really be seen, and then it can go into
Mm-hmm.
these you know, these institutions and stuff.
Mm.
You know, but as far as
Have,
like galleries, yeah, I've done gallery shows. Um,
I was gonna say, have you ever thought about putting something together for yourself to showcase it and display it for yourself?
that's really more the goal. You know, that's why I don't see like the offers are coming because it's something that I have to do on my own. And you know, today me and my boy basically battled because he saw the Jackie Robinson piece and he said, "Yo, I need something just like that," you know, on a canvas. And then he was like, he started showing me all the stuff that he got of mine that he's bought throughout the years. And then he started showing me all this other stuff. So then we started battling. We started b-boy battling. I started showing him my stuff. I was like, yo, I got the Coogee sweater with Biggie on it. I got this, I got that, I got a pair of Gazelles, I got this. I started pulling
Mm.
all my museum pieces out that I really forgot that I had, you know. But we was just going back and forth. Like we kept one upping each other, you know. Then it was crazy, but I have been like accumulating a lot of stuff so that I can have my own museum. You know, there's actually somebody I know that helped Britney Spears, and they opened up a museum for her downtown LA.
Mm.
Yeah, like they what they do is you get with an archivist,
Mm-hmm.
and they get all of your stuff, you know, and then once you have it like all documented, like the dates and this,
Right.
that, then you go to other, you know, institutions and be like, this is what I have, you know,
Right.
and somebody might determine that you have enough to do your own museum. Like we're gonna rent out a building and we're gonna put all your stuff up in here, and you know we're gonna lease it out for 2 years, whatever. We could do events here, blah blah blah, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah,
That's dope, man.
Okay, okay, that's what's up.
That's
That's
dope.
what's up, brother. I
yes,
can't,
brother
I can't,
Hop.
can't thank you enough, man.
I
I can't
can't.
thank you enough, man. I
Thank y'all, man,
I
for
guess
the opportunity.
I'm still speechless now. Thank you for the opportunity, because
Yeah,
I'm still
yeah,
speechless over here, bro. I really
yeah,
am,
man. You blessed us tonight for real, bro.
and
And
I'm taken back. Like I said before, I'm just so taken back, like to my era, like the essence of hip hop, the
mm,
graffiti, you know, just everything that I grew up on, man. It's like I got chill bumps just sitting here, you know, thinking
wow.
about it. And like you said before, I'm gonna make it quick. Like you said before, you really didn't want to do anything on the iPad. You can, but you can't put your heart into it, as opposed to you doing it freehand.
Yeah.
That's how I'm feeling right now. Like,
Mm.
you know, I got this feeling like, man, I'm back in like 88, 87. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
That's the feeling I got. You know, real talk though. That's the feeling I
Wow.
got. And anytime we do shows like this, man, it just takes me back. And this one here just it really grabbed me, bro. And I appreciate you for just blessing our platform, man, with your knowledge, uh, just your presence alone, and all that you've done for just graffiti artists, the hip hop community, fashion, everything, man. I appreciate you. Uh, and I know when I say I speak for the both of us, this whole platform, Retro Talk Forum, man, this I'm just blown by it, bro. I am. And I really do appreciate you for blessing this platform, man. I really do.
yeah, I
Thank you,
I'm
y'all.
piggybacking off of him, man. Like
Hmm.
for real, bro. Because you didn't have to bless us, man. We just a little small podcast, man, and but seriously, man.
Okay.
It's a blessing for you to be on here with us, man, and sharing your knowledge and all your experiences with us, man, and just I'm pretty sure the chat enjoyed it, man. Like I said, you probably get about a few requests on your page, and people gonna be asking about your work. You know what I mean? And
They got some of them $20 shirts.
I'm expensive, man. So
I ain't mad at you. I'm not mad at you.
That's how you make the classics. You make classics, and they far and in between. You know what I'm saying? Like they far from each other. So,
do you have a layaway plan?
Yeah, I do.
Hey, that's 80s right there. That's strictly 80s. That's what we did back then. Put everything on layaway.
A lot of my peers, they be trying to get 80 prices. I'll be like, yo, you bugging, like for real? Like I can't even talk to like people from my era, man. It's not even worth it, man. Like I ain't gonna mention no names, but just the recording artists from my era, like I'm like, nah, bro.
Like inflation, man, inflation.
Yeah, man. Shoot.
Inflation.
Gotta eat.
It's one more question, then we can kind of go ahead and close it down.
Okay.
Is it one artist or one particular person that you always wanted to work with that you never got a chance to work with?
Oh wow. Wow.
Good
that
question.
was one of the questions that I had, and like I said, once we started talking, and I just had all that, it just got thrown out the window. I remember now.
So you mean like from the 90s or something, or like?
I guess, yeah. Let's just say the 90s.
That I might have missed out on.
Right.
Aaliyah would have been bananas for the 90s.
Wow.
That would have been crazy. I spoke to her one time on the phone, and it was at the greatest day in hip hop. I don't know why her picture is not on there, but she was there.
Mm-hmm.
That photograph in Harlem, the greatest day in hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was there because somebody passed the phone, and I was there early, and then I ended up leaving, and I couldn't even make it back. But I remember talking to her on the phone for a while, and I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna make it back to Harlem," and I never made it back. But I think that would have been, for 90s, definitely I missed out. Right now, I would like to work with like Tracy Morgan and Kevin Hart. I would like to work with them dudes.
Tracy Morgan is pretty OG.
Yeah.
He's the last OG.
He's the last OG.
He's the last OG. So it fits. It would go good. It would go great, so him, and then probably some like the younger, I'm pretty much in contact with a lot of people.
Right.
Like probably like somebody who's like the hottest like rapper right now. Like that would be pretty cool, But I'm doing something with ASAP right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean they about to launch something crazy. I'm working with them. I think that's about. Oh, Rihanna, definitely.
Oh, Riri.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would definitely love to do. I just did something with Beyonce for Ivy Park, Adidas collaboration. So, so I mean, it's coming around. Like people are coming. Like the people who I feel I want to work with, it ends up happening. That's been happening since I was a kid.
Right.
Like I want to meet Rakim, and boom, I'm living in Miami. There he go, me and him in the elevator, and we never looked back. We became best friends. Like our birthdays are 7 days apart from each other. It's like to this day we best friends. Like his kids call me like your uncle, like his son hits me up every day, like, it's love,
Right. Man. The God MC.
I think you're gonna probably be looking for a request from a guy named Beard Jedi. He said he needs some work and define expensive. So I'm gonna tell him to probably hit you in the DM, and then y'all can discuss business that way. You know what I'm saying? So
child like little baby expensive, like Dapper Dan expensive. Like,
like
when
I
kids
said, man,
come over here, they be like, that's it? I'll be like, what you mean that's it? I'm like, okay. So I got to be Louis Vuitton now, that's the goal.
Right.
Yeah. I'm hoping I got enough for this layaway down payment for this Retro Talk shirt. So
we gonna
no,
do something.
it's all it's all love. It's all love, bro. You gracing us, on our platform, man, is enough for real, man. So
we're gonna stay in contact. So
ain't no doubt about that. Ain't no doubt about that. I can say like Black was saying, I can probably speak for both of us, man. And I probably say I can't say I say it too much, but I'm very grateful. You know what I mean, for you coming on here, and you probably get tired of me saying I appreciate it, but I do appreciate it. You know what I mean? I do appreciate it. For you blessing us, showing your artwork, showing our people's, you know what I'm saying, your artwork, and just sharing your stories with us, man. And this is we went in the time machine tonight for real. Those pieces that you showed, man, was definitely dope, man. And it brought back memories for me also. Wanting to get the airbrush and the rhinestones. Me going back, like I said, putting the rhinestones on the baseball hats. You know what I mean? And I just remember that you about to make me go get a hot glue gun and some rhinestones from the store. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, it's therapeutic, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So, like I said, man, people know where they can find you. You got a website also too, right? Shout out your website.
ShirtKingPhade.com.
Mm-hmm. And they can go get the book on there, right?
Yeah, the book is attached. Yeah, they can find the book there. Yeah.
Okay. You got anything else, Black?
No, I think we're good. Also, I want to make a quick shout out to our Retro Talk forum brother, Roro from Another Bad Creation, ABC. That's our dude. Appreciate you for kind of linking this up together, man. I give all the props to him. You know what I'm saying? For just, when I asked for it, he said, "Got you, no problem."
Yeah.
Let's see what let's make it happen. Because he was more excited than I was. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, yeah, it was like I said, man. Once we started talking and chopping it up with him, man, it was like, it was lovely. You know what I'm saying? It was lovely.
Yeah, he has authority to make that happen like that. Yeah.
Hey, I had a conversation with him, man. A good little conversation, man. And that dude, that's one deep dude, bro.
Yes. Very deep, man. That's our Retro Talk brother, man, on everything. Okay.
We did a show with him not too long ago where we did like a top 10 playlist for different categories. Ooh. But we got clapped. We got clapped on YouTube for copyright.
Oh yeah.
Hey, bro, it was.
Wow.
We'll tell you who got us behind the scene. We ain't gonna put it out there. Not with you on the show, but after we end the live broadcast, don't go anywhere.
Okay.
And we'll tell you. I'll tell you. We'll tell you. We got an email saying, no, you can't play this on there.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's all love. That was a good time, man. We had with Ro and Cali Vegas. So.
Cali Vegas, that's right. But man, this is another show.
I was gonna ask King Phade if he got anything else he want to shout out. Anybody you want to shout out, or any last comments or anything?
Oh man, just wanna I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, just I want people to just like understand the times that we're living in, and the pressure is on so that you can get closer to God, and He'll show you who you are. So, we can't follow man, you know what I'm saying, and then expect success. You know, the time period that we're in right now, we gotta listen to God. We gotta hear from Him, because our paths are already orchestrated. You know, so therefore, ain't nothing gonna happen to you. You know what I'm saying? He don't do miracles in fear, and in disbelief. He do miracles in faith. You know, so take this time to dig into yourself, get into whatever you into, nurture it, carry it like a baby, and then deliver it.
Right.
And then take it to the pinnacle. Like, this is the time you gotta realize, when the heavens is open and God is blessing, you gotta jump in and take advantage. And this is that time. But at the same time, there's so many other distractions. So if you're gonna be distracted, then you're not gonna be safe in the next move. But if you focus on, and that's what I like about this, because everybody's home painting, drawing, creating, hosting shows, like, you know, my brother Hop talking about he gonna pull out the marker, and Black, like, yeah, I'm gonna paint up my pants, and we want overalls and the rhinestones, and you're probably gonna end up doing it yourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got time. We got time. We got time, and I think God created this time that we could reflect on ourselves and get back in touch. That's why the retro talk, it means so much. That name means a whole lot. Because you talking about things, you talking about the foundation of something. You talking about the beginning of something that is useful today. It ain't no new formula. We got to go back to the old things. We got to go back to when we used to open the doors for women. You know what I'm saying? Used to open the car door for a woman. And we got that. We know about that.
Yeah.
So in this season now, we're the teachers. We got to be like, nah, that's not how you do that, bro. You got to do it this way. Because they want trying to figure out, how you doing this, how you doing that, and you got to show them that there's a foundation to it. Like, I was taught something as a youth, and I'm going to teach you that. And
Yeah. Dang, I just got chills when he said that about that retro talk.
Yeah.
And everything, bro. Everything, bro.
Yeah.
That's knowledge right there, man. That's knowledge for real.
We appreciate this.
Knowledge.
We really do. Really do, bro. Nostalgia Hour. Hashtag Nostalgia Hour. That's it right there.
All right.
Also, man, we want to give a shout out to Beard Jedi, man, and our sponsor, Lift Heavy.
Right.
Beard Jedi, he's got his own t-shirt company called Lift Heavy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he puts out real good quality products, man. Get a chance, check him out. Yeah, check him out.
Oh, well.
Small black business, you know what I mean? So,
I love it.
Yeah, for real.
I love it.
He's actually the one that, he's actually, came up with our logo. He's the one that did our logo for us.
I like that.
You know what I mean? So yeah, he's always showing love. So, but yeah, once again, appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I'm hot. Like I said, don't leave real quick. We're gonna end the live and chop it up backstage with you real quick.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So
for sure.
I'm hot. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much it. I ain't got nothing else to say. I'm good.
Okay, that's what's up.
I'm Black. There's a Shirt King Phade. Check him out, shirtkingphade.com. Check him out on Instagram, Shirt King Academy, Shirt King Phade. I'm like I said, I'm blessed I'm just lost for words right now. Appreciate you for just blessing our platform once again. I can't stress that enough. When I say I mean the both of us. And for the people, appreciate y'all for rocking with us this long. Appreciate y'all the answers, the questions that you had. Appreciate the interacting in the chat. Be safe out there in these tough times. Wear your mask. Stay prayed up. And this is Retro Talk Forum, and we'll be back next week, man, with another dope show. So with that being said, man, we out of here.
Peace.
Peace.